In today's episode, I am going to talk about how to record a podcast that sounds professional without a studio. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Wisdom Okonkwo, and you're listening to the Podnovation podcast. You do not need a professional studio to sound professional. I mean, if you can afford a professional studio, awesome, great, use it. But this episode is not for you if you can. Um, some of the top rated podcasts are recorded in bedrooms, closets, and home offices. I'm going to show you how to make your recordings sound studio quality with a setup that costs less than dinner for two. By the end, you know exactly what to buy, how to set up the space, and how to record like a pro. Now, the mic you can use is a very cheap mic for about $40 to $60, and there are three options out there that are really good, cheap, but they're really good, right? Now, of course, they're expensive ones, but these ones are cheap and they work really well. So the first one is Audio Technica ATR 2100X, Audio Technica ATR 2100X, or the SAMC Q2U. That one works fine. But for me, the one I use is the Fifine K688. Yeah, that's the one I use. So the Fifine K688. Now, they are kind of in the same budget range for the three mics I just mentioned. So in this instance, what I would look at is what's the peel? Which one do you like? Because they kind of get the same results. So you might as well just look at the one that it works well with your workstation and you kind of like it. I like this design. So that's why I bought this one. There were other options I could have gotten even cheaper than this, but I liked the design of this one. So I know it doesn't really have anything to do with the studio sound, but it's just a personal preference. Okay. Um, Now, what you also need is a headphone, especially when you're doing interviews, so you can hear your guest without having it in played out loud and then coming back as reverb. Okay. And with most mic, you get a pop filter. So something like this. This one came with a mic. So with most mic comes with it, right? So this is what the mic looks like. That the pop filter. Okay. Yeah. So you see, okay. So yeah, it comes with a pop filter. Now, you see the earpiece is connected to the mic, and I can hear myself. I can also hear a guest if I have a guest on the platform. That's very simple. I didn't have to buy the filter. I got the mic for about less than $70. Okay. Now the room you're recording, right? And I'll say this: it's very important, if possible, that you record your podcast in a quiet environment. It just makes things easier, right? And what I'd recommend is if you can record your interviews or your meetings or your podcast at night, usually that's when it's quiet. Just look at your environment and say when it's usually quiet and record then. It makes it easy. It makes editing easy. It makes everything easy. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Now, do you want to record during quiet hours? I mentioned that earlier on, early morning or late evening. Give you the least outside noise, especially if you have an office or a house where there's like a major road and things are just running, police cars and all those things. The dogs, family members walking around. Usually early morning they're not yet awake. Late evenings they probably are asleep and they're tired. So you get to do your thing. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Even with the perfect setup, pro recording still need professional editing to like truly shine, right? Our agency takes your raw files and handles all the post production, noise remover, leveling, mastering, intro, outro, the works. If you want studio quality episodes without the learning curve, book a free discovery call, link in the description. Okay, so the other thing you need to look at is you want to speak directly into the mic, right? That makes you sound well, and you want to catch your breath when you talk. So, and with the pop filter, it helps you avoid those the saliva in the mouth and all those things, the clicking sounds, and okay. And you also want to warm up your voice. So what does that mean? Before you get on the mic, you warm up your voice, and so that once you start recording, you sound great. And one thing I would recommend you do, I learned this the hard way, is before you start an episode, always record 30 seconds and play it back before your actual session. Check it for background noise, volume levels, and mic positioning. The reason I say that is that sometimes you might record an episode and realize that the mic was not properly connected, and you will just drop in fire bombs you were dropping lines and lines and lines and lines, only to realize that nothing was captured. And there's really nothing you can do about it. The thing was not recorded. It's not like you can edit sound into it. So you have to go back and record it again. That's really devastating. Okay. So what are the software you could use? If you're recording audio only, you can use GarageBand. It's free on Mac computers. Audacity is free on PC. And you can also use Descript if you do video recordings. And but if you're doing interviews, remote interviews, I recommend you use Riverside. You can use that, and you can also use Zencaster. Either one works, right? Okay. Now, basic and editing you can do. You can cut the dead air and the long pauses, remove obvious mistakes, normalize your audio levels. A tool like Riverside does that for you. That's what I'm using to record this episode now. You can also use this script, but I use Riverside for mine. And then what a professional editor does beyond the regular stuff you do is the noise reduction, compression, EQ, mastering, adding music beds, ensuring consistent loudness across episodes, all those things. Usually the AI tools they kind of do that for you in a way. Okay, but it's very important that the place you're recording is quiet. You're using a good mic. Yeah, and you should be good. Okay. Now we've talked about good mic, quiet room, proper technique. That's 80% of sounding professional. The last 20% is in the editing. That's where we come in, right? So we could help you with that. Now, if you want every episode to sound polished, consistent, and professional without spending hours in your editing software, let our team handle it. Book a free discovery call and see how easy it can be. The link in the description. Yeah. Until next episode. See.